so here's a video of this epic peg perego razor that we've upgraded. We've made this thing from a 24 volt, 7 mile an hour kid's toy to basically a miniature golf cart. We're going to go and kind of talk about the parts that we used in this thing and some of the features of it. As you can see, it's no longer red. This started out as a $60 eBay find. It didn't have any roll cage. It didn't have a lot of parts. It was broken and battered and beat up. Perfect platform for somebody to basically start over from scratch. So as you can see from the side here, it's now got rubber snowblower tires. We had to retrofit the front with bushings, and then the back they actually mate up with these metal gearboxes. This is a stock gearbox that comes with it from the factory, plastic gears in there. Comes with a 775 series motor on there, 24 volt. We swapped it out for dual 36 volt 1000 watt motors. Now there's no way that I would run this on 36 volts because this thing's already 26 miles an hour on 24 volts because it's got taller tires. But this is a Curry metal gearbox that you can find on adult scooters. We weren't able to use the disc brakes on this, so we actually have regenerative braking. And what we've used is a golf cart controller. It's probably going to be hard or impossible to see, but we've got it between the seats there, tucked up and bolted up on top next to the that's the main contactor. So that's where we put the controller in there. We went with dual 26 amp hour 12 volt batteries. We did the same setup on a buddy of mine's, and he literally went 10 miles with his daughter driving, and he was on his bike and he basically had to call it quits because he was too exhausted trying to keep up with her. So I know for sure it has a 10 mile an hour range, 10 mile range, like I said, 26 miles an hour. What I've got is this cord hooked up to the controller. I always leave that plugged in because you can't really get to it. But we'll start it up here. So here's the ignition key. So you turn it on, you hear the main contactor go, and it's got a golf cart golf pedal. It's a Hall effect pedal, 0 through 5 volts, and you give it a little bit of input and it's just going to go a little bit. So you give it a little bit more, and if he wants to haul balls, and then you can see the regenerative braking kick in. If he was driving, it would actually take a little bit longer because he's already in motion, inertia, and all that stuff. But when he lets off the gas pedal, it applies the regenerative braking, which recharges the batteries. And talking about batteries, we just use one of these smart chargers here. It's 24 volts out. We have a couple of them. We have one that's 2.4 amp hour. This is a 1.6. But you plug it into the wall, and it's got a built-in charge port. You just plug it in right here. So when he's done playing with it, now here's some of the cool features that you don't get unless you build it full custom with golf cart parts. I got to plug this cord back in here that came undone. So it's got this diagnostic cable that you plug into your laptop. Probably should have got this going ahead of time here, but you can do a lot of adjustment with this thing. So you got to have the key on and the vehicle not moving, and we are going to open up the Kali PM user program, and it's saying warning, prohibit doing any configuration in user program while the running motor. I've never done that and I don't want to, but so this is what you get. It comes up, it's got all kinds of features, and if you do this mod and it's not working, it could be something to do in here. because I was messing with this earlier and I wasn't getting input. It's because I changed some stuff that I shouldn't have. So I think it's Fanny or Franny or something like that. The customer service at Kelly Controls is very good, the customer support. She helped me through because with the regenerative braking I was having some issues. But you can see down here there's all kinds of things to go through. We'll go down to the next page here. Startup delay, you can even adjust that. I just switched it. It was half a second. My son was like, oh, it's not going. So I switched to a 0-second delay at startup. Control mode. This is cool. This is something that I really actually do need to play with a little bit more. This right here. It's got torque, balanced, and speed. Now I had it on torque for him earlier, but we're going to leave it in speed. It's got low voltage, it's got over voltage. You can adjust all this stuff. Throttle up and down rate. Now I had it actually at 0 just to play with it because I'm like, oh, we want to have full throttle. But the wheels, when I had it jacked up on this jack stand so I could do that little demo, the wheels were spinning. So I turned it back to the 4. I don't know what that means, but I think that that's what it had to do with throttle up down rate. So we'll go to the next page here. This is cool because this thing is insanely fast. I mean, 26 miles an hour might not seem crazy for like a 7-8-year-old, but it's freaking fast. So you can actually turn down the motor top speed there. You can do half speed in reverse so that they don't go crazy in reverse. There's also options, and I don't have this. You can actually put another pedal in there that acts as a brake pedal. My buddy did that in his, and it's freaking awesome. It's just like a regular brake. The harder you push it, the more brake it gives. Excuse me. So a lot more options there. We'll go to the next page. Regenerative, you can turn it on or off. Braking switch mode, we obviously got that enabled. Throttle position sensor mode. We've got those maxed out. I don't know if those, what all those do. I just basically left them. There's all kinds of sensors and stuff you can add to these things. I mean, a lot of stuff that I haven't even added. Basically, this thing's done, except for I want to add a stereo system, a motorcycle stereo like we normally do. But that's it. You know, we're getting motor temperature sensors and, you know, where it cuts out and stuff like that if it's overheating. So we just want to get out of this program. We're going to hit finish, and it closes the program. And turn this key off. Now, since it's 24 volts on those big batteries, we actually have a smaller 12 volt battery up in the footwell there that runs all the lights. The first one there is the insanely bright light bar. I mean, that thing's ridiculous. I need sunglasses on right now. We've got some blue running lights when it's getting a little dusk. And then we've got your driving mode here. So we've got halos and then fog lights. And then we just put red eagle eyes in the back for the braking. So there's the lighting, there's the electronics, and not to the good stuff that everybody's probably wanting to figure out how to get rid of these plastic gears and stop destroying stuff and wasting money. So these are just hubcaps. There's a snowblower tire. It's just a quick pin here. Wheel's tight. Having trouble getting it off. There it is. Okay. So, stock form, this gearbox slides right in there and through the axle. And the motor fits in there. Well, we basically did the same thing. Obviously, you've got to do some modifications to this gearbox. I'm not going to hold your hand and tell you how to do everything, but basically you take the bracket off, you take the heat sinks off, and you cut some grooves in this. Now this is pretty cool features that we figured out, is it's got the 3 mounting bolts, and we just used 3 threaded rods so we could actually get alignment. So we can do toe in, toe out, cast or camber stuff by adjusting where these the tension is so that we could adjust that and get it kind of pretty well lined up. So that's basically this epic build right here. I'm sure you guys want to see this thing run. So I'm going to go holler at my boy and we're going to do some driving video. We got Kid Drift in here ready to do a little demo test drive. Some things I forgot to talk about. We actually installed 2 Junior Dragster racing harnesses, 5-point harnesses. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but we were missing the roll bar, so we bent and welded up a steel roll bar. Yeah, go ahead and turn those lights on. Whoa, serious brightness. Alright, we're going to have him do some running video here, so get the old GoPro going. Alright, dude, let her rip, Tater Chip. Get him. There he goes. He's gonna hit the trails, it looks like.
Bumpy. There's trees in the way. There's trees in the way. No, like, they weren't like thick ones, so like kind of trees.
Hey, go ahead and gun it. Let's see what this thing's got for takeoff out there. Let's not go, see how they rest, huh? Video of the metal gearbox Razor. Give it some go. Regenerative braking when he lets off. That's how it stops. Recharges the battery. Pretty cool.